MLK sought to unify people regardless of race. Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, was demonizing black people. He did not try to unify white people with black people. Okay, so a lot of people like doing this comparison between Martin Luther King and Charlie Kirk. Let's actually talk about the differences between these two. Martin Luther King risked his life to expand constitutional rights for a legal group that was oppressed, right? And then Charlie Kirk does not lead a civil rights movement. He led a political culture war. Martin Luther King led protests against segregation, voter suppression, and state violence, right? And then he also led targeted laws and institutions. Martin Luther King sought inclusion and equal protection under the law. Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, argued about campus politics, DEI, pronouns, and ideology. He targeted cultural influence, not legal exclusion. He represented a group that already had full civil rights. So they're not the same in that case.
He like painted himself as, like where Kirk was like super Christian, super good guy. And you don't think if MLK was alive today, he'd be using the hell out of social media? Of course he would be. So it's
He'd be a live streaming machine.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Playing video games and, saying what he's saying. Yeah,
he'd be a menace today.
Yeah, no, he would be. But by the way, in my opinion, I want to go to the next story. My opinion, they both have a massive impact. Martin Luther King is a painting. I have a painting of him in my house that he's in. He's one of the only 8 characters in that painting that I have. But to me, Charlie Kirk is bigger than Martin Luther King, period. Charlie Kirk, there's 4,600 hours of him. There's only about 4,200 hours of MLK speaking. You talk about the personal life, even if you go watch some of his documentary, if you type in just type in Dead Mentors as the painting. That's what you got to type. If you go look at some of his documentaries and what he's done, Dead Mentors, not the Dude Romney, Dead Mentors.
Dude Romney.
There you go. That's a good images and you'll see it. So, no, but to me, Charlie Kirk, what he did is a lot tougher, much bigger. I wouldn't say much tougher because MLK, what he did at his time was tough. But Charlie Kirk made a massive, massive impact. MLK, peaceful protest, the things that he did. Selma followed the story very closely, but I just think Charlie's legacy is going to be bigger long-term than MLK's, my opinion. I think Charlie's legacy is going to be not 2 times, 100 times bigger than MLK's long-term, simply because there's more stuff that's documented with Charlie than there was with MLK.
I don't know if Charlie's going to end up being bigger than MLK. Regardless, to me, MLK, Charlie Kirk, some of the greatest Americans to ever live. You only try to assassinate the people who are the people moving the needle. Abraham Lincoln, JFK, what they try to do to Trump, MLK. So what I'm saying, our friend Brandon over here basically only listed the negative about MLK.
Because he said he was perfect.
Okay, who said he's perfect?
Dave Chapelle did.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but he made him sound like he was perfect.
Okay, but to only highlight the negatives of MLK is doing a disservice to MLK and the country.
All right, let's go to the
next. He was one of the greatest
thing,
Americans.
Guys, the other night, my wife's hosting some of her friends over at the house with Bible study. Anyways, they're doing their thing. They're having their food. They're laughing. And I come in. There's like 20 cars in front of our house. My security freaks out. He's thinking something's going on. I said, no. I think there's something. I think Jen told me. And I forgot, obviously. I forget we had some. And I come in. This lady walks up to me. We start talking. Very nice lady. She says, oh, I see the shoes you're wearing. She says, are those the shoes you've worn 3,000 days in a row? She says.
And then also, MLK appealed to moral conscience across race, class, and party. Charlie Kirk appealed to primarily ideological agreement. That's what Charlie Kirk was all about, right? And then MLK talked about human dignity, justice, and equality. Grounded arguments in moral philosophy and nonviolence. He sought reconciliation, not domination. Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, frames debates as us versus them. He often uses confrontational strategies as his go-to, and then he focuses on winning arguments rather than unifying people. There's a difference between Charlie Kirk and MLK. MLK sought to unify people regardless of race. He just sought for equal opportunities across every dimension. Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, was demonizing black people. He did not try to unify white people with black people. Hence, a lot of people think that he is a white supremacist and a racist. Let's just keep it 100. All of those things aren't just allegations. They had to stem from somewhere, right? So that is the big difference between MLK and Charlie Kirk.
They said Charlie Kirk is this generation's Martin Luther King.
No, he's not. Not even close.